Had Harvey.
And I'm Juan Fernandez. Tonight, some of the top candidates in the recall election faced off in a televised debate. And for the first time, the top polling Democrat in the race faced off against his opponents.
And there were some fireworks, too. KCAL9 political reporter Tom Wade has the highlights of tonight's debate.
Yeah, this was different because, like you guys said, there was a Democrat on the stage with 3 other Republicans, so that really kind of changed the chemistry. So this is interesting because state Democratic Party leaders did not want any Democrats to appear on the recall ballot. So the ones on the ballot are not party approved, including a YouTuber with millions of viewers who was on the debate stage tonight. And according to our recent CBS poll, he was in second place behind GOP frontrunner Larry Elder.
It's more of the same, and that's why we're failing with COVID.
Democrat and well-known YouTuber Kevin Paffrath takes the debate stage with GOP rivals for the first time and goes on the attack. Paffrath says he has the best plan to tackle COVID.
We need to also include an emphasis on HEPA filtration in our schools. I do agree with mandates. I agree with mandates at a local level, though, not from the governor's office. The reality is we need N95 masking. The CDC and government has failed us.
Paffrath has millions of views on his YouTube videos where he offers financial and real estate advice.
We've done incredibly well.
He's also the highest polling Democrat in the list of more than 40 recall candidates, but the state Democratic Party is not supporting him.
We need a governor who's actually going to do what he says he's going to do.
On other issues, Paffrath says the state needs a massive pipeline from California to the Mississippi River to ease the drought, and he hammered his GOP rivals on the housing crisis.
Kevin Faulconer mentions that we should build along our transit corridors. That's not enough. That's not enough. It's not that it will create a drop in the bucket for our housing crisis.
Former San Diego Mayor Kevin Faulconer hit back.
It's not the time for on-the-job training for YouTube. Somebody that's never actually had to get legislation across, actually had to get the units constructed and built, and actually take the stance to get housing constructed in California. I think that's a clear difference between you and me, my friend.
The GOP challengers sounded off on familiar themes like cutting back state bureaucracy.
We shouldn't have most of the boards and commissions we have. We're going to have an audit of every single agency, starting with the EDD, and we just learned of a homeless audit that was blistering in terms of its criticism of Governor Newsom.
Assemblyman Kevin Kiley on whether he would accept the results of the recall vote.
There is a lawsuit right now to try to cancel the election, and there are people in Gavin Newsom's inner circle who seem to be supportive of this effort. They have tried every step of the way to delegitimize the recall. They called it the California coup.
Missing once again from the debate stage, Governor Gavin Newsom, Larry Elder, and Caitlyn Jenner.
Here's the problem. We have a big threat. And that threat isn't here to defend himself. That's Larry Elder. That's because Larry Elder's with his disinformation friends, Tucker Carlson and Laura Ingraham.
Which is that this is not a partisan recall. This has been bipartisan, multi-partisan from the beginning. It's about the failures of our government to do the most basic things, like manage our forests. And the result, of course, is that our communities are at risk, and we keep having these catastrophic events.
Paffrath also appeared to mistake the state legislature with Congress while imploring people not to vote for a Republican.
We have a 75% Democratic control in Congress. And Democrats in Congress will sandbag a Republican governor through the 2022 election.
And remember, folks already have their ballots and people are already voting. Most polls show an edge in interest in the election favoring the Republicans. But remember, Democrats do outnumber Republicans here in this state almost 2-1. So there you have it. It is definitely picking up steam as we kind of talk about every night as we get closer.
Yes, yeah. September 14th.
That's right. Well, Tom, we got a quick question. Tonight, we know a lot of people are already voting. How does the play out on the election night going to happen, and when will the ballots be counted?
Right. So, guys, remember on election night in California, we actually do count our ballots leading up to the election.
That's
so right now, county registrars, it's not done by the state, it's done by the counties. They are allowed 30 days out to count their ballots. So they do have a tabulation going right now. They kind of know where this race stands. They can't release those results, obviously, until election night, and then they'll count the ballots on election day that come in. So we'll know kind of the results of the mail-in probably that night, kind of get a good sense that night.
Sure. And let's remind our viewers that we always do that.
Right.
The absentee ballots or the mail-in, they're always...
Right. Remember within the presidential election, remember some of the other states, like, I don't know, I think Pennsylvania was one where they weren't allowed to count their ballots until election day, even their mail-ins. So we had to wait. You know.
But we do.
What we do. Exactly. We do.
Thank you, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
Well, now to a COVID outbreak at a Southland school. LAUSD confirms there are 11 cases at Grant Elementary School in Hollywood.